What's going on, y'all? This is John Alsace with Facemask Fantasy. We got new up-to-date fantasy content coming your way every day on this channel, so if you have not subscribed already, then please hit that button. But before we get into our main topic for today, my co-host Nick Payne put in a ton of work to give you guys a free 2021 Redraft draft kit available on our website, which can be found at facemaskpod.com. It's a great piece of content, something that other analysts might be charging you for, but we're giving it to you for free. So without further ado, let's get into some fantasy talk. And now that the preseason has wound down and we are officially only 6 days from actual NFL action, we're going to be taking a look at some ambiguous backfields here. And the first one on my list is the Jets. And the first running back that we are going to talk about here is TyJohnson, who just had a good showing in the last preseason game against the Eagles that the Jets held. He rushed 13 times for 53 yards and a touchdown. He also added 2 catches for 18 yards. He closes the book on the preseason with 28 carries for 108 yards at a 3.85 yards per carry clip. Now, with so much summer hype focused on Michael Carter, the new draft pick at running back to the New York Jets, and recent signing Tevin Coleman, who was signed here in the offseason, TyJohnson's kind of gone under the radar. There was even some early LaMichael Perine hype, but that has since gone away. Even so, TyJohnson has just stuck around. He hasn't been hyped. He's just stuck on this roster, continued to put his head down and work, and now it looks like we might be seeing TyJohnson take the RB1 role for this offense. Now, the Athletics' Connor Hughes recently came out and said that he expects the Jets to deploy a 3-headed attack at running back. Hughes compared the Jets' backfield to the 2019 49ers, who split snaps fairly evenly between Tevin Coleman, Raheem Mostert, and Matt Breida. This is, of course, the case because Robert Saleh and much of his staff was brought over from the Niners this past offseason when the Jets decided to part ways with Adam Gase and hitch their wagon to Robert Saleh. Tevin Coleman comes over from the Niners, and TyJohnson, Michael Carter, and LaMichael Perine would be the Jets' version of the Niners' backfield. ESPN's Rich Cimini listed TyJohnson as one of the surprises of camp earlier in the offseason, reinforcing the idea that it will be difficult for any one player to consolidate running snaps in this offense with such a diverse running group. But there is a potential path to touches here, given on how well the preseason went for TyJohnson and the success that he saw on the touches that he was given. He received the start in the final preseason game against the Eagles. Now, veteran back Tevin Coleman was inactive, so the Jets gave Johnson the bulk of the carries. He rushed 13 times for 53 yards and 1 touchdown. And while many will view this backfield as a headache for fantasy managers, I think that TyJohnson's cost, which is extremely low right now, is extremely intriguing given his profile and all of the rumblings out of camp. Now, the Lions selected Maryland running back TyJohnson with the 186th overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. He comes into the league at 5'11", 210 pounds. He ran a 4.45 at the combine, and as a sophomore, he set school records in Maryland with a 9.1 yards per carry average while accumulating a team-high 110 totes on the ground for 1,004 rushing and 6 touchdowns. Despite following that up with another standout campaign as a junior, 137 rushes for 875 yards and 5 touchdowns, 6.3 yards per carry clip, a calf injury, and the arrival of Anthony McFarland set Johnson back in his final year. He's a straight-line speedster who burned a 4.45 40 time in Indy and finished with a 7.0 yards per carry under his collegiate belt. Johnson has the skills to be an NFL back despite bouncing around the last few seasons. And while he's not the only speedster on the team, he's the only one that doesn't come with a ton of injury concerns. Tevin Coleman, he also has 4.45 speed, but he's proven he cannot handle a full-time workload in the NFL. He can hardly withstand a part-time workload for a full 16 games. On top of that, he's 28. He's always looked good on paper, but he's just proven to be a lackluster NFL running back when actually on the field. Now, Carter, their draft pick, super hyped this past offseason, is an undersized back at 5'8", and he only ran a 4.59. So when you're looking at a guy with that type of ceiling, yes, if everything falls right for him, he could be Devonta Freeman for a few seasons, but he could also end up being Boston Scott, in which case he's not the number 1 back for this team. And who is if that comes to pass? I think it's TyJohnson, the fastest guy on the team. Now, he stuck around on the Lions for about a year and a half as a do-it-all injury fill-in, but was waived partway through the 2020 season. The Jets picked him up promptly and didn't give him a ton of run, early on behind starter Frank Gore. He only managed 3 touches per game in which he played until his 22 carry performance in 2020 put him on the map in the NFL and fantasy circles. He ran 22 times for 104 yards, got 2 receptions on 2 targets for 13 yards. He ran at a 4.73 yards per carry clip in that game. Now, after that game, he was relegated back to backup duties, but he was substantially more involved in this offense from that point forward. In week 14, he was targeted 6 times and caught all 6 of his targets for 39 yards and a touchdown. And in week 16, he carried the ball 11 times for 45 yards and also caught 2 passes on 2 targets for 23 yards. He's proven to be very efficient in the passing game. Now, the Jets running back Ty Johnson has only received playing time when his teammates have been injured in the past, but I think that changes in year 3. He does his job with minimal mistakes in both the passing and the rushing game, and by all accounts in pass pro. He has the requisite speed to be an NFL back, and while he doesn't do anything to the level where he'd be a superstar in the league, if given a significant workload, what he could be is a workman-like RB2 with some pass-catching upside in an offense with a good offensive line, and a rookie QB who should rely more on the run game more often than not as he gets acclimated to the duties of being an NFL passer. Ty Johnson's burst should make him a strong fit for the offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur's system, but he'll have plenty of competition in a crowded Jets backfield. Now, ambiguous backfields are always tough to decipher in fantasy, but it can also lead to week winning upside and league winning upside if you hit on a guy with a late ADP, and right now Ty Johnson looks like a good candidate to be one of those guys. Again, Tevin Coleman is always seemingly injured. Michael Carter is a rookie who is undersized and doesn't seem to have the full confidence of the coaching staff just yet, as witnessed by their myriad of offseason moves, and they're keeping 4 running backs, all who should see a significant playing time in 2021. If they really believed in him to be a workhorse, they wouldn't have put this much competition around him. I think Ty Johnson has a realistic outcome in 2021 of being the Jets' RB1 for the majority of the season, a role which could put him at RB2 value more often than not. In season-long leagues, he has an ADP right now of 207. That's RB 64. In DFS, he has an ADP on Underdog of 191. That's RB 57. And in Dynasty, he's 24. Now, if you're just looking at this running back room on the surface, sure, those ADPs might look okay, because you might be thinking, all right, this rookie is going to get first crack. They also brought in Tevin Coleman through free agency. He's going to get second shot or first shot, depending on how they want to distribute touches. But again, I think that Ty Johnson is going to be the guy this year. He's 24. Coleman's on a 1-year deal. Perine is not a starting caliber back. And Carter, while people are high on him, it remains to be seen how he translates to the NFL. So I personally, this year, am really intrigued by Ty Johnson. In Dynasty, again, he's only 24. If Carter doesn't prove himself to be more than the 3-down back and Perine continues to provide a ceiling of an unexciting backup, Ty Johnson could end up being the RB to own for the next 2 years in this offense, not just 1. He's a guy that I like at the end of every draft as an RB dart throw with a good chance to start all season. You always want Shanahan backs. Every year, Shanahan backs are hyped. And Robert Saleh, as a Shanahan disciple, might make it so that you want a Jets back on your fantasy team. This might be a backfield that you want a piece of. I believe it will be. And Ty Johnson is a very cheap piece of this backfield, as witnessed by his ADP in both season long and DFS. But I believe he could end up being the RB to own in this backfield. So what do you guys think? Put your thoughts in the comment section below. My name is John Alsace, and this is Facemask Fantasy. We bring you new up-to-date fantasy content every day right here on this channel. So if you have not subscribed already, please hit that button. Thank you for listening and have a great day.